today to talk to you about our PLR. We've been so happy with how the PLR has developed this year at LICS in the primary school, and we want to make sure that we keep that momentum going and that we have lots of lovely parental involvement in the primary school. So the PLR, that's our new name, and that stands for Parent and LICS Representative Group. And so a few of us have gathered together this afternoon. Me, I'm Una Barrishagen, Primary Principal. We have Brian Sexton, who is class teacher in 4S, is also our coordinator of Going Global, which is one of our big drives at the moment in the primary school. With us also we have Gloria Hill, who is our IT teacher across the primary school. She's also our digital integration in the classroom specialist in the primary school. We have Sarah Appleton, who is our Year 2 teacher, 2A, and she's also our science coordinator. So again, somebody who has a huge influence on how our children learn in the primary school. She's also representing, of course, those teachers in Key Stage 1. Well, we have Brian, who's in Key Stage 2. We also have Sarah, who's in Key Stage 1. And last but not least, we have Taryn McCulley with us, who is our lead parent representative, who has been very instrumental in ensuring that the PLR develops very effectively this academic year. So what we want to talk to you about today is why we would like more parents to step up as parent representatives. There's a lot going on in primary school and we really, really want you to be involved. So we thought it was important that you heard what some of our community members feel about parent reps and the importance of that role. So would you like to start, Mr. Sexton?
Yeah, I think it's a communication level really. I mean, for me, being in year 4, it's my first time in year 4. And Mrs. McCulley, you're my class rep and been a very effective one, I have to say that for this year. And it is an onerous task. I basically accept that, and it's great for you that you take on an awful lot of the burden basically, so you can be a one point of contact. And so having you throughout the year has been exceptionally well. It's not just going to be a flattering exercise the whole time, but thank you very much for being a one point of contact, because that alleviates things for me. So if people who have any questions, they can come to you. You're quite experienced at it, and so we make an effective team and we communicate together regularly as well. So if there are any issues, you are the main page of contact, and of course then it's your judgment really. If something needs to be escalated or whatever, then you will do it to me and to Mrs. Barrishagen. So that's the whole thing that I've got to say really. I think that covers it.
Okay, yes, and what about Miss Hill then, as a specialist teacher in the primary school?
Well, this year has been great, and thank you so much for the help, because thanks to you being a rep, you have helped me to get the information out to the parents, and at some point even train them. When I share information with you, you share it with them, and that's the communication we need. Sometimes we are bombarded with emails asking for information, and when we pass them through you, you help us to spread that out. So thank you so much for that. And at the same time, when you're training yourself, you're learning first, and then you're helping others. So what a beautiful community we can have. We're not only teaching your children, we're teaching the parents, and then you're helping yourself. So thank you for that.
And I think the parent reps as well are able to, when they see Miss Hill, for example, with a lot of the work you've done in IT with the children, with the new skills, the platforms we've been using, I think it's the parent representatives have really helped to push that with each year group. So, because it's not easy for parents or teachers or children to remember everything. Again, it's really very
also
important.
just as a parent, from a parent's perspective, I know that we do deal with a lot of platforms and we are getting information all the time, but just for us as the one point of contact from the teachers, that if somebody presents us a question, we know exactly where to go to retrieve that information to pass it on, so they don't necessarily need to contact you, and so we are able to facilitate that communication and either read out what is relevant and what's not for our year group, because although the PLI is a general umbrella, it's essentially structured with just the class reps and the parent representatives, and the parent representatives are here to represent the parent body of LICS and to facilitate communication with our wonderful teachers.
Very quick response time as well, and I think we found particularly for Key Stage 1 in Year 1 and 2, simple things like a child has gone home with the wrong lunchbox, or a child has gone home with the wrong fleece, and the parent reps are usually helpful in identifying who has that, or even it's really been useful for new students in welcoming them into the community by, you know, just having that WhatsApp group as a point of communication.
And it's really important that we strive to have a constructive WhatsApp group and people feel welcomed and also heard, but also respected across the board, teachers and parents.
Yeah, and I think what you're saying as well, you're talking about highlighting there the difference between the role of a parent rep, for example, in Year 1, and the role of a Year 6 parent rep, because you know that at the moment that's focused a lot around checkpoint exams, for example, in Year 6. But as Sarah says, in Year 1 and Year 2, we're still helping those learners to become independent. So the conversations on those WhatsApp groups are slightly different.
And sometimes just clearing up misconceptions. A child has misinterpreted an announcement that you've given them, so then they've gone home and told the parents, and then sometimes just receive a message from the parent just to clear things up. You know, with them being a little bit younger and perhaps not understanding instructions as easily the first time round. But also for social, the parent reps have been quite instrumental in the social events in the school as well, which I'm sure you'd like to learn more about.
Yeah, so obviously we have kicked off this academic year with restructuring what was previously the PTA, now is the PLR, and first and foremost, we wanted to make sure everybody was included and rebuilding our community spirit that was essentially lost over COVID. So we felt it very important that the community are heard again, and the best way to do that is just trying to bring everybody together. So we've had fundraisers, and they have been so widely accepted and well received, and I think that is just a testament to what our parent body is, and they just fully believe in our community and our community spirit. And just our fundraising, you know, we're trying just to enrich our children's lives and the children's learning environment. We just recently facilitated the book nook, or the reading nook, outside Mr. Hagen's office,
which is hugely popular at all
yes,
times of the day.
so I mean, yeah. So you know, and we have two more things that we're going to facilitate by the end of this academic year. And then leading on to next academic year, we'll obviously have little projects that we'll like to see. And also, as a parent rep, I would like to hear from the parents. You know, what changes would you like in the school? What would you like to see? And then maybe we can work with the teachers and management to facilitate these changes. And most importantly, I feel that we're not just a fundraising committee. We are more involved in what's happening in the school, listening to our teachers, listening to what they would like from us parents or the kids, and just trying to, again, I can't stress this enough, just rebuilding our community and our community spirit.
It's a partnership essentially as well, isn't it?
It's a partnership,
And it works both, it's a both-way street.
Exactly.
And I think, you know, it's really, just to echo what everybody else was saying around the table, you know, I'd like to thank you very much, because you've done a lot of fundraising this year, and it has been good, and I think that's the kind of those sorts of people that we want to attract, are people who are going to be involved and building that partnerships, because at the time of COVID, which has been a huge
And
sort of
it
break
has,
for
I mean,
communication.
being parent rep it does fill your cup. It really, like, when you are able to help people and actually physically see the changes and being a part, like hands-on, you know. So I think if anybody who wants to join the PLR will have a fulfilling role within the school and just having that connection, but like a hands-on connection.
And it does take commitment, a certain amount of commitment, of course, because
Yes.
you are, you're overseeing a WhatsApp group. But in addition to that, you'd also parents come to our monthly meetings, and we're talking a lot about fundraising here, but it's not just fundraising that the parent representatives are involved in. That they discuss curriculum matters, they tell us what parents are worried about, they tell us what parents are, if there's a gap in the communication anywhere. And so really I think we've come along in leaps and bounds because of the work of those parent reps actually relaying parents' comments to us, so we've been able to improve.
It's building the bridge between our parents and the school, and just so hard working just to try and build that communication. And so
So if there are any parents out there, we're encouraging them, aren't we, to, if you think that this
Yes.
sounds like your kind of thing, we would really love to hear from parents whatever interests you have, and if you have any new interests that you want to bring to LICS as well, or to promote or facilitate at our school. We're so ready for listening to lovely new ideas and trying some new things.
And we are hoping not to just end at primary, because LICS is a whole community. So in future, we're going to try and build the bridges between pre-primary and secondary, so we get one sort of community spirit, and everyone is part of LICS and what LICS is.
The community is, was that under
Community,
underlined
that
idea?
was a word in our school name.
Yeah.
Community.
I think it's in there.
Yes.
And you know, like as a parent, some of you are international. Bring that experience. That is intercultural. That is being an international school. So it is great when you have all these parents with different experiences from different countries. Bring that and help us grow.
Yes,
Like what we did.
Definitely,
Yes.
yes.
And then also, like, as international parents, and I went to LICS, so I am born and bred Zambian. So when international parents come, like you said, the WhatsApp groups aren't just there to talk about school, we're there to help one another, So if you're having a little bit of a trouble settling in or finding something, or where can I find this? Everyone comes together and we are able to help one another. So I think essentially it's helping one another, building community spirit, getting our hands dirty, and just making sure that our kids' learning environment is as rich as possible.
And the children can see that now. We see it now with them with this reading nook. They absolutely love it. What they love is that somebody's done that for them as well. It's not just that it's a lovely carpet and a great place to be, but they feel cared for, and that's what's important here. So there are a few little practicalities here. We're going to talk about how our parents are going to be able to put themselves forward as parent reps for next year. That happens this term, obviously. If you are going to be new to our school in August, it's not a great time for you to be a parent rep. It's a great time for you to maybe express an interest in being a parent rep at some point, but not really, you would need to have had a child in the school for a year to be a parent rep, because you need to be able to help other parents and help new parents. And so still be interested in hearing if you are interested in being a parent rep at some point in time. And so what will happen is we will be asking for nominations, asking you to put yourself forward to show an interest. We'll communicate that to you very clearly through the parent reps, how the process is going to work. But it will happen this term, and you will put your name forward, and this will all be done electronically. We might want you to put forward a little bit of information about yourself, so that your peers, your parent, the parents who are going to be in your child's class for next year, so that they will be able to make a choice and vote. And so that's the process now, but we really do encourage you, do put yourself forward, even if you're one of those quiet people who feels maybe it's not your thing. Well, I'm sure we can welcome you, and we will really be able to. We would love to make use of your talents and your interests and your desire to contribute to LICS. So thanks very much, everyone. Has anyone got anything else they'd like to add?
I think we've Covered everything.
I think we have, yeah. And I think, of course, the teachers would like to thank
course,
Mrs.
yeah.
McCulley for
Absolutely.
leading at PLR
It's my pleasure, and my thanks goes to all the teachers and all the staff of LICS. Your contribution to our children's lives are invaluable, and we just want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts on behalf of the parent body. I might be speaking out of turn, but from myself, you're amazing. And if COVID taught me anything, teachers are so overlooked and underappreciated. So thank you so much for everything that you do for our children.
And thank you too.
Thank you.
Thank you.